Hello, everyone. This is Samantha-Jayne Love, and this is Love Talk, the place where you get to learn how to be a better lover of life, lover of the air that you're breathing, everything that you touch within your space. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm so excited for our guest today, the beautiful Miss Emma Murray. So Emma is pretty amazing, and you will love her accent. I love her accent. She is from Ireland, and oh my God, this beautiful being. She is absolutely amazing. She is a Reiki Master. She does a beautiful process called Rahanni. She will talk about that later. Hi, Joy. Joy's joining us. We've got Joy and Love. Everyone's here. Woohoo! And she is a master of transformation. She will tell you a bit about her story, but Emma started as a beautician and has transformed herself into this master healer, and it is really exciting to have you on. So welcome, Emma.
Hello there, Samantha. Thank you very much for having me here. And the energy that you put out, oh my God, it's freaking electrifying. And hello, everybody listening as well. How are you?
Yeah, so we've got a few people on, which is exciting. So Emma, tell everyone who is there watching the replay or watching us live now. So tell us about your journey, starting as a beautician, and tell us about the journey of the transformation that you've taken.
Okay, perfect. So I am 39 years old, and I lost a cousin at quite a young age, and then followed through losing another cousin that was very much like a brother when I was 20 years old. So I chose a path of destruction after this grief that was very unknown. It was unresolved grief.
Yeah.
Got lots of back pain, didn't realize what it was, spent thousands of pounds on trying to fix it, and nothing seemed to work. So I figured out from a guy who I went to that his wife was a Reiki Master. Cut a long story short, went to get Reiki done, healed the pain in my back, and slowly but surely I got a love for Reiki healing. Became a Reiki Master after a few years. I'm 16 years Reiki Master now.
Beautiful.
And yeah, it's great. And then transformed into Rahanni Practitioner as well as lots of mindset work and sacred ancestral clearing and all the goods in the tool belt. So along my journey, I had quite a lot of heartache, and from relationships, and then getting back with the person, and then breaking up and getting back and breaking up was a bit of a pattern of mine all throughout my life. And even recently, I had, 2009 actually was I lost ectopic pregnancy, but it was actually found out that it was twins. So I thought I had a miscarriage. But then a few weeks later, I realized that there was a baby in my tube as well.
Oh, darling.
So there's lots of different bits of grief going on there, and then realized that I had to get my other tube out, so I can't have children naturally.
Yeah.
So I have to have IVF. So that's part of grief as well. So I lost myself in the midst of it all, turned to drugs, turned to alcohol, and turned to being very much an overeater, put on a lot of weight. And got married in 2020 and stepped away from my husband after 6 months of only being married. After a lot of healing was going on, and didn't realize what was going on in the background. So since then has been a roller coaster for me.
Yeah.
But I'm out the other side with a big smile on my face. We are back together. So our marriage, yes, I'm I'm impressed with all the help from everybody, and this amazing little device as well called the Healy that I remember getting a distance session from you in my time of need.
Yes.
And also the healing from you from the womb as well, which was really, really helpful. And just stepping out of just stepping out of my masculine and allowing myself to step into my feminine since that session with you.
How amazing. And that's really when we're talking about, especially in our coupleship, whether, we have a man, a female, or there's two men or there's two females, there has to be a balance of those masculine and feminine energies. And if we're really sitting in one of them, our partner, if they're sitting in that same energy, we're going to be fighting, or, whether it's fighting like this or one of us is running away. So that is a huge thing, and how amazing that you've been able to make it work. And that's a real credit to both of you, that you're willing to, I don't like to use the word fight, but you're willing to stand up for each other and to say, here I am, warts and all, let's work through this together, because that is really amazing to be able to do that. To be able to stand in all your vulnerability. It's almost like you stand in front of each other naked, not in the good sense, but that you're standing in front of each other and you're like, all right, this is my baggage and this is my baggage and this is my baggage and I'm dealing with this stuff. Are you going to be, like, how are we going to what road are we going to take? Are we going to take separate roads, or are we going to move through this? It might be a bit of a windy road, but you can always find, if there was a spark in the beginning, if you want to, and that's the choice there. If you want to, you can always find your way back to each other. Do
you know what was the biggest thing for me was we had such love for one another, but I realized like that love wasn't enough. It didn't, because there was lots of different views and different things and very different. I moved forward from my destructiveness into a more serene sort of way of living, and I couldn't handle that destructive way of being. But I also realized to anyone out there that it all was my own issues that I was perceiving to be on the outside. So I seen lots of things that triggered me in my husband. So he didn't really do anything wrong. It just triggered something inside of me. And that's when I went, holy shit, what am I after doing? And I had to figure out. So I took full responsibility for my actions. And I realized, I had to accept and acknowledge that what I had did and stop avoiding the feelings. As much of a healing journey as I have thought I was on up until last year. So I thought I was flying. I was in the right form. And then it all just went pear-shaped.
Yeah, that thought of, oh yeah, I'm doing really good. And the universe goes, yeah, have a little more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So it sped up my healing journey massively.
Yeah, and sometimes when you get to step away from everyone around you, because yes, there's love there, but sometimes we get a little bit codependent when they're filling up a bit. If we haven't filled up our own cup, there can be that little bit of codependence. So when they're not there, you're like, oh, you really do need to look at yourself and go, all right, oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay, that's my darkness. Right.
Instead of jumping back in. Instead of like just jumping back in and going in, I thought, oh my God, like I can't just jump back in. Even though I love the man, I need to resolve what's going on inside of me, because it was just not happening. And I was in total denial when I left first. Like that. So these are the stages of grief that I realized, oh my God, I'm in denial of myself here. And then I went to start to be really angry with myself and angry with him. And then I was like, I'll try anything to try and get away from this pain. And then I just fell with my face flat on the floor, and I had to realize I had to accept Emma, and then I started to accept him.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
So you were saying earlier that you've lost 2 cousins, and then 2 babies all in this within 2 weeks, really.
Yeah.
And if, it's not something that, we talk about losing people, but, as a mum and losing babies, there is this process that your body goes through. And it doesn't matter whether you birth a baby or whether you lose a baby or there's a termination or whatever happens, there is this grief and all of the hormones that come up as well. And when you don't actually get to hold that baby, even if there is this part of you sort of that you're like, oh, I just want to forget about it. So that it's sort of like brushed under the rug, and the rug's very lumpy if we don't look at it.
Sure.
And it's probably not talked about. There's, you can have little groups, they're very private groups, but I think if we can bring these things out into the surface and really talk about how grief shows up, and everyone is different in the way that they grieve. That's the thing too. There's not a one-stop shop of, all right, well, you're going to go through the 6 emotions of grief, and you're going to go angry, and you're going to have sadness, and you're going to have this, and you're going to go into denial. And it's not in a linear thing. It's like a messy ball of string. Absolutely. It's scrambled up there, and you can go from in a 30-second from angry and sad and laughing all in the same time. You're like, I don't even know who I am. Yep. So was that what you were dealing with when you were looking at Emma in the mirror, I suppose?
Yeah, well, I realized that I was very chaotic inside myself, not just my head, but my body as well. And that's how I found a lot of the tools that I used. Sometimes you have to actually reach out, for help. That I tried for so long to try and do my own thing, which it kept me, to a certain degree, it helped me cope. I didn't.
Yeah.
When I stopped the destructive behavior, my tools kicked in then to help me cope. But it didn't stop the train, the train kept on moving. And not only that, but stress kicked in. You make silly decisions like the fight or flight. I ran away from my bloody marriage. I just used to do silly things with it. And I was totally unaware that that's what it was. And now at least my destructive behaviors have stopped, and I don't throw all the toys out of the pram, like a child. I love it. Yeah, and I face it, and I think the only way through it, there's no fast way through grief, and as you said, there's no time frame. Like, everybody deals with it in their own way and differently, and some people never even address it. They go through their whole lives of being destructive and just don't want to go there because it's too painful.
Yeah, and that's. I was reading a post this morning that someone posted up saying about, like when we are healing, yes, there is the light, fluffy stuff, and that, makes us feel good. But for the real, where the real magic is, we have to go into the darkness. We have to go into the pain, and it wants to be seen. It wants to be seen and heard. And there's, I always talk about snot crying. If we can get to snot crying, we're like on a winner, which is so the real healing stuff is, it's not pretty. It's not, it can be pretty on the other side, but it's about really delving into the darkness. And I don't know whether you've seen that Robin Williams movie, What Dreams May Come. It talks, it's an amazing movie, and knowing his struggle with depression. So what happens is he has this beautiful family. He's a doctor, and his 2 kids die in a car accident, and then he dies in a car accident, and his wife is stricken with grief after the kids she tried to commit suicide a couple of times. And anyway, it shows where it's about whether or not you sit in the the darkness and you want to bring in the light, but she would just sit in the darkness. So there's that distinction as well. So, sometimes when we're using coping medicines, whether it's drinking or drugs or food or whatever it is, Netflixing completely and just zoning out as well. So all of those things keep you sort of coping, but you're just borderlining sitting in the darkness. It's
Existing.
Existing. Yeah. So it's about being in the darkness and calling in the light as well and bringing it in to, and to bring in that healing. So, yeah, it's an amazing movie. Some people don't really like it.
I must write it. I must watch it. Another little thing as well is when you are going through that darkness, you actually come out of that darkness much bloody faster than if you sat with the destructive behavior for years and years.
Totally.
Like the short-term pleasure for the long-term gain, or the short-term pain, for the long-term gain. It really, really tells it all, and just having all the tools to be able to help, like the simplest of things that I tell my clients even is like to put a rose quartz crystal in their bra, obviously not this size, but smaller one.
Well, depending on how big their babies are.
And allow it to just, and they even just have the belief that this is going to make them feel better. And then they slowly but surely, you can get dressed and you can get up out of the bed and you don't mind facing people. Like when I walked away from my marriage, I avoided conversations with my own family, and it was just horrendous. Like I was just avoiding everything, even though because I was internally, I think, working away on myself, I didn't want any outer noise or influence of anyone else to distract what was happening inside. Yeah, because you can do that very simply.
Yeah, that's it. That is it. Yeah, sometimes that it's not totally retreating. There's with everything, there's always the two sides of it, but sometimes taking the space for yourself may seem retreating for other people, but it's actually giving you that space to be able to go, who am I? What is it that I need right now?
Breathe. Just to breathe. And
and not be anything.
Yeah, and not be anything. Allow yourself to be and not, because like everybody knows me from when I was younger as being like a headless chicken. Even when I played football, like I was a really good footballer, but I was a headless chicken. It was like, Emma, like, are you connected at all? Is your head connected to your bloody body? What is happening here? And I was just like, it all makes so much sense because I was just so disconnected from my heart. I avoided going in there. I just did not want to go there. And then I just kept myself so busy and then would suffer with serious stress because I'd be freaking adrenal fatigue nearly. And then I wonder, like, because my body then obviously telling me, you need to slow down, Emma. So it gave me this because I wouldn't slow down otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's all in the knowing. And when you see people at the start of a journey, like I just want to go out and give them such a big hug, and say it will be okay. You are going to come out the other side of this because look, I'm here.
Yeah.
So there's hope. There's always hope.
Yeah, and that's true. That's sometimes people just need that hug. It could have been that, the hug that they didn't get when they were a little kid. It could have been that hug that they didn't get when they had to put someone in a funeral home. It could have been the hug that they didn't get for a million different reasons. Sometimes giving somebody a hug is just the thing that they need to. It's like when the dam is full, like a water dam, when the water dam is full and you give somebody a hug sometimes and they just burst.
Yeah.
And it's it's amazing. Like I've been on both ends of that hug, and it is amazing. Like you feel like if your dam bursts afterwards, there will be snot crying generally.
Yes.
But it's amazing how much that will allow us to feel. And sometimes it's just because we've been holding it back. Oh, I've got to go and do this. I've got to get to work. I've got to do this for the kids, for me, you know, like got to do this for the husband. I've got to do this for my clients. Everyone's holding everything together. Yeah, it's just a beautiful thing. And your business now, even though you didn't want to connect in with your heart, your business now is called...
I know, yeah. Follow Your Heart Healing. It's crazy how things fall into place because, you know, I just trust and I surrender now. And as hard as that is at times of, you know, hard times, even financially, or stepping into a new career, like stepping into a choice of actually living your passion and purpose, to just allowing yourself to just go, you know what, I'm looked after here. Like I trust, and I call upon my angels, and I call upon whoever out there wants to bloody listen to me. I'm surrendering. I offload all this heaviness. I don't want it anymore. You know, what blows my mind, Samantha, is the amount of people that do not want to let go of the pain and the suffering. It's so sad. It actually makes my heart so like sore.
Yeah.
When I think about it.
It's like they're dragging, like when you say that, I have this vision in my head of them with like this big satchel, and it's got the BS, all their bullshit. It's got horseshoe shit. It's got all the shit in there, and they're carrying around with them, and it's heavy, and it's gone hard, and it's rank.
Yeah.
They just keep carrying around, and there's more shit going in there. It's a bag of shit.
Yeah.
And all that they have to do is just let go.
Yeah. Just drop the bag of shit.
Just drop the bag. Don't pick it back up again. Just
Yeah.
don't pick it up again. Yeah. It's really interesting how, we've done a lot of things together, and how many people like to pick up their bags of shit again. So
it's mental. But also another thing is, like, it makes you feel so light afterwards, and you feel really empowered. Like when I started to do this work, I felt quite heavy at the start because I was holding the emotional attachment for my clients to get the result, and I really wanted them to feel what I felt. But some of them, you know, it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. So I had to step back and just allow things to just flow as needed, and not force anything to be happening. And they felt so empowered, you know, handing them back their responsibility of their healing instead of looking to me to heal them, you know.
Yeah.
Such a different feeling.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So what would be your 3 top tips for anyone that had a closed heart, or was, you know, just carrying around the shit or their grief? What would be your 3 key things that you suggest for someone?
Okay. Well, my first tip would be to just allow yourself fucking permission to be angry, to be sad, to be whatever you are. Like, allow yourself to go, right, this is how I'm feeling right now. And just voice how you're feeling, and ask for that hug if you want a bloody hug. You know, step out of your own way. Get out into fresh air. Take off your shoes. Step into the water or the grass and just breathe. You don't need to know what you're doing. You don't need to know what grounding is. Just trust and have faith that you are meant to be in this place. You're going to learn a big lesson. And the next thing I would say to people is, stop taking yourself so serious.
Yeah.
Like, breathe and bring out that child, like offload the fucking anger and this shit and all this stuff and forgive yourself.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And just really say, right, this is me. I'm accepting who I am. I can, because until you recognize who you are, you can't accept who you are. And then, and when you know who you are, then you can know, like, okay, well, this is what I need to work on and these different things. And just maybe have a little look at, this is a deadly little book that I found as well.
Oh, cool. We'll pop that into the comments. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, fantastic little book. That's a really good little tips in there for those tough times in life as well. And reach out.
Perfect.
You're not alone.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like a lot of healers and therapists and whoever says reach out. Like there's this thing of like reach out. And it's really interesting, especially here in Australia. I don't know about in Ireland, but, there's this thing of, we're supposed to be tough. We're Aussies. We're tough. We get around everything. So I think there's this untold way of being. We've got to be a certain way. And if we've been a certain way for a long time, because I know that I would just get along and just do things. And for me, like reaching out was really clunky. Even still, like asking for help sometimes can be a little bit clunky. But someone said to me that it also isn't just about me. It's also about the person who's giving, who wants to give help. And it's about being able to receive. So it's not just about the asking for help. It's actually being open to receiving. So, that's probably my top key of, that reaching out. Just put it out there. And because people want to help, people want to give. I think everyone's in a tough time or has been in a tough time, and being able to help people through their tough times and hold hands and connecting together. It's not as scary as what you think it is. So whether you reach out to Emma, whether you reach out, like there's a tribe of people here on Love Talk that we have. And if we don't have all the answers, there's probably somebody that we do know that has the answers here. It's that sort of two-edged sword of, yes, reach out, but also be willing and open to receiving. So
yes, that is very true. Yeah, because I could have turned you down on what you were offering me as well. And you only realize actually, and you know what else is a big thing? Let go of expectations.
Oh, massive.
Yeah, and just stop the judgment, and stop comparing yourself to someone else, even in your family. If, like, for instance, if a sibling loses someone at the same time as you, like, you're all going to see and feel things differently, and you're going to take on board different things. So don't be judging yourself. Just allow yourself to be yourself. And if you don't, you'll get there. You come out and you'll see the light. There is the light at the end of the tunnel. And
there is.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. This has been a lovely, lovely, lovely talk, Emma. I love talking to you. I love hearing your voice. Emma, let everyone know at home how they can reach your loveliness. And, you've got a gift for anybody that was online.
Oh, yes. We have a Rahanni session, a distant Rahanni session for anybody who is live watching.
I can't see who's live. I can see that there's someone on. So if you want to say, it's me, and then I can see who comes up.
Yeah.
Oh, bless.
Whoever it is.
Whoever it is.
Also, you can reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, Follow Your Heart Healing. Also, followyourhearthealing@gmail.com. And
it is Miss Joy Heinsberg.
Oh, yes, Joy. We shall be in touch.
Yay!
Awesome. The thing with Rahanni and Reiki and all, like, you can do them distantly. So it got me very into that when COVID hit. And I now start to teach Rahanni and Reiki online because I can hit so many people all over the world. So it's amazing Yeah.
Awesome. Yay. Thanks, Joy. Thanks for listening, my darling. And
Thank you,
anyone that's
Joy.
catching the replay, we love you here from Love Talk. This is Samantha-Jayne Love, the place where we spread as much love as we can possibly spread. I have the biggest heart too, so you are going to be getting sprinkles of love. Oh my God, love you all. Talk to you again soon. Thank you, my darlings. Bye.
Bye.